Good morning, and welcome to the annual Lincoln Public Schools Thank You Teacher Breakfast. Please, of course, continue eating the breakfast as we start our program. I'm Jill St. James with KFOR. I'm the MC for today's event, and I have had the honor of serving as the MC for many years. And it is, of course, one of my favorites, which is why I always come back. Now, this is a day that we honor and recognize teachers from across our community and, of course, across our state. It's a wonderful tradition that is more than 30 years old. Joining us today to help honor these amazing educators and the students who nominated them is Lincoln Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Paul Gosman.
Good morning. It's great to see you today. I'm always amazed that the governor's basement is nicer than mine. Doesn't have a water heater and washer dryer and weight equipment, stuff like that that's not used. On behalf of Lincoln Public Schools, I want to welcome you. What a great way to celebrate our amazing teachers on Nebraska Teacher Recognition Day. Today we recognize excellence in teaching, honoring the women and the men who lend their passion and skills to educating our children. Before we get started, however, I'd like to take a moment to recognize a few people. I would like to thank our Board of Education for their continued support of our staff. They volunteer, keyword volunteer, their time to serve on the board, and they work tirelessly to make sure our students and staff have the support that they need to succeed. Joining us today are Board President Lanny Boswell and board members Kathy Danek and Piyush Srivastav. Also joining us to celebrate teachers are members of the executive team of the Lincoln Public Schools. Our Associate Superintendent for Teaching and Learning, Dr. Sarah Salem, right there. Our Associate Superintendent for Human Resources, Dr. Van Price. Our Associate Superintendent for Civic Engagement, Dr. John Neal. And our Executive Director of Communications, Mindy Burbach, who's usually in the back. Yeah, she's waving in the back. Making sure we're all doing the right thing at the right time. Since the beginning of this event, we've had the same generous partners in this venture, and we appreciate their support. Jill St. James from KFOR and KFRX, as well as the Lincoln Education Association and the Foundation for the Lincoln Public Schools. I see Wendy Van is over there from the foundation. I want to thank everyone who wrote in and nominated a teacher that made a difference in their life. Thank you for taking time to recognize the amazing teachers that we have here in the Lincoln Public Schools. Congratulations to our selected letter writers. The letters you wrote about the teachers you were nominating are powerful and they are compelling. They remind us just how important our teachers are in the success of each child. Thank you to the friends and to the families who are joining us today to honor these educators. We know the importance of having our friends and families around us to help celebrate the good times and to support us as we do the important work that is there for students. Thank you for being here. And finally, congratulations to our educator honorees this morning. You represent the best in Lincoln and in Nebraska as well. You are the embodiment of honor, integrity, and passion that our educators bring to the classroom each and every day. Indeed, teachers provide so much for our students. You provide inspiration, motivation, and ultimately dependability. In honor of this Teachers Recognition event, I thank you for the countless hours you dedicate to our students. Thank you for your relentless commitment to our students and children. May today be a reminder of how appreciated and how adored you are. And now I'd like to bring up to the podium Lanny Boswell, the Lincoln Board of Education President. Lanny?
Thank you. On behalf of the Lincoln Board of Education, welcome to our annual Thank You Teacher event. I will start my remarks today with a quote by Irish poet William Butler Yeats. Education is not the filling of a pot, but the lighting of a fire. As you will see by the nominations shared with us this morning, these 5 extraordinary educators have ignited the passion for learning. So much so, they have inspired others to continue carrying the flame. Think of how many students a teacher impacts each year. Think of that light as it spreads from each student who they have inspired and motivated. And there are many stories like these all across Lincoln Public Schools. It is an honor to be a part of a school district and staff that care so deeply about our community's children. At Lincoln Public Schools we hire the best of the best, as is evident by the numerous state and national teaching awards and honors bestowed upon our teachers every year. We are thankful every day for the educators who dedicate their time and talents to inspiring future generations. There is not one person here in this room today who hasn't been affected by a teacher. Teaching is one profession that greatly impacts every aspect of our daily lives. It is the profession that makes all other professions possible. Today, we have the privilege of honoring 5 teachers who demonstrate the power that relationships have, and the difference that people in our classrooms make. Congratulations to all of our winners here today. You are an inspiration to us all. Joining us today to help congratulate these teachers is Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen. Governor.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to spend a couple minutes with you. Welcome to your house. Hope you're having a great breakfast. I have to share, we have to have fun, right? And so we had a very, very unusual Thanksgiving for the Pillen family. We had Thanksgiving here at the residence, and I have 7 grandbabies, and they were here. And this room was cleared out, was empty, and guess what? It is one heck of a football field. It's really, yeah, it's well, when you're third, and, you know, and then if you had to play on your knees, however it works, but it was good. Well, let me just say a couple things. That number one is thank you to everybody who has answered the call. It's the most noble profession that there is. I've asked this question for 7, 8 years to anybody I've ever interviewed and talked about things is, who are the top 3 people? So this is a question for you. Who are the top 3 people, no matter what age we are, that have impacted your life? And I'll bet the farm that a teacher or a coach is one of the top 3 people in everybody's life. Now, I will tell you, I hope that people will share that. Everybody will share that with your students and with your family members, your kids, because if somebody would have told me that when I was a young man, I'd have become a coach. Because having an impact on young people at pivotal times of their lives, there's nothing, absolutely nothing more rewarding. There's nothing richer that you can do in life. Because we all agree, right? Our kids are our future. Our kids are our future, and we can never, ever give up on a kid. And I think that's one of the things that is also really important, that as teachers, that we have to stay 100% positive. Here's what you can bet on as long as I'm your governor. I can't do a lot, but one thing I can do is make sure I'm 100% positive. I'm governor to everybody, and I can work hard. And because we need help, we need each other, right, to stay 100% positive. We all get sticks in the eye no matter what might happen. We might get really frustrated with the kid, but we can't ever give up on one and say, oh, the kid's lazy, the kid's this, the kid's that. Well, if kids not responding, we got to figure out how to connect, how to reach them, how to make their flower bloom. It all takes a little different approach. So I think that I just can't emphasize and thank you enough how important it is. And everybody in this room knows it better. This isn't Chamber of Commerce speech. This isn't governor speech. But we have to deal with hardcore reality, right? Every one of our kids, every one of our communities, every one of our schools have kids growing up in tough circumstances. I'm so guilty. I love this place so much. I thought everything was perfect, and Guess what? It's not. And nobody knows it better than what teachers do, because you pretty well have the key to everybody's living room in the community. And I think it's important that we share that, because here's what I know, not a shadow of a doubt. If a Nebraskans in Nebraska, when we know there's a need, we step up and help fill it 100% of the time. The problem is, a lot of Nebraskans are like me, used to think it was perfect. And so it is important that we share, that people understand, hey, go down the street, engage yourself, build a relationship, so that our communities know that we need help. I believe business leaders, farmers, and ranchers are the solutions to helping lift our kids up. I think that those are things that are really, really important that we can do, so that everybody knows. Because I was asked early on when I get to talk to kids, it's the highlights of my day, and I talk about dreams a lot, and I always get a question that pretty well knocks me, and I hadn't thought about one. Kid says, well, what's your dream as governor? Well, dream of governor is really, really simple. I'm governor, 4 simple words: kids, taxes, agriculture, values. Kids lead the way, and the dream is simply that we lift every kid up. We lift them up through education and then great jobs, and that's how my dream is that we have thriving middle-class communities in every single community in our state, and we end poverty. If there's any place that can end poverty in the planet, it's the state of Nebraska, by working together, because we have extraordinary resources of the people, our land, and our water. And so let me leave with this. I call it the gift of appreciation. I think it's really important if you can help share this to brag. I love asking the question, what's the one thing we love the most about Nebraska? And the answer is, it's the people. The people. Us lifetimers sometimes take us for granted, but trust me, anybody that moves here can't get people out fast enough. It's really, really important. I hope that everybody can start bragging to our kids about how incredible our people are, the people in Nebraska are. So all of our kids get educated here, stay here, raise their families here, be fully grateful for how safe of a state we live. It's the greatest, safest place to live, and it is because of what the teaching profession does and getting our kids prepared. So let me just say thank you. Congratulations to all the award recipients, and I hope you have a great day. God bless. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Gosman, Lanny Boswell, and Governor Pillen. I'm a lot shorter than everyone else. Sorry about that. Now we're going to come to a very special part of the program. At this time, we have the honor of hearing all the nomination letters, written by current students, also former students, parents, and colleagues. This year, we had approximately 200 nominations submitted from across Lincoln and Lancaster County. Each and every teacher nominated deserves to be recognized for their work and dedication, of course. But, of course, we don't have time to read all of those letters to you today. So our committee chose the top submission in each category. So it's really quite an honor to be selected. Here's how this part of the program works. I will call the nominator and the teacher to the podium one category at a time. And after the nominator reads their letter, we welcome the teachers to also say a few words. Then we're going to take a photo together with Dr. Gosman and also Governor Pillen, and you will receive a special gift bag sponsored by Lincoln Public Schools, the Lincoln Education Association, the Foundation for Lincoln Public Schools, and our media partner, KFOR, KFRX. And from what I understand, those bags will be up at the front door, so you have to get those on your way out. But we'll give you a certificate over here for the photo. So, are we ready? Okay, everybody get your Kleenex ready. It tends to be a little emotional, all right? Just telling you right now. Let's begin. The first category recognizes the outstanding teacher in pre-kindergarten through second grade. Emily Mujica teaches kindergarten at Arnold Elementary School. She was nominated by Paige and Scott Lysing and their daughters Hayden and Emma. Please join me at the podium.
I told Emily not to look at me because I'll probably start crying. So, look away. Let me begin by describing my Christmas shopping list this year. I know it's riveting. Items to be purchased included lanyard, paper clips, whiteboard, expo markers, post-it notes, visual schedules, and other miscellaneous items from Office Depot. These items are essential for a classroom and very helpful for teachers. The recipient of these very boring items, you ask? My two daughters, Hayden and Emma. My children asked for office supplies for Christmas. Every waking moment spent in our house is spent playing teacher. The moment they pop out of bed in the morning at the inopportune time of 5:45 a.m. to the moment they go to bed is spent teaching their stuffed animals. I know what you're thinking. Wow, over-exaggerate much? It's here where I assure you, dear reader, the frequency and obligation to do math mountains and equations before my morning coffee says otherwise. The exact moment they discovered the fun of playing teacher was the first day Emily Mujica came into their lives. Both girls were fortunate to have Miss Mujica as their kindergarten teacher. Our nerves were immediately put to ease with her welcoming and outgoing personality at kindergarten orientation. As the year goes on, I'm increasingly amazed at her talent to engage and shape these little minds. Nothing puts our hearts more at ease knowing Hayden gets to sit in her class to learn, feel safe, and most importantly, feel loved. I'm confident that each child that walks in her classroom feels the same. I asked Hayden to share her favorite part of being with Miss Mujica. She is the funnest and makes us the best surprises. She always gives me Band-Aids when I need them. In addition to her inviting classroom and endless supply of Band-Aids, Miss Mujica is a prime example of a lifelong learner. She spends her days educating and the rest of her time in graduate school. Her passion for learning is apparent and truly inspires her students. I once asked her why in the world she was responding to my email late at night. Her response, "Oh, I was just working on an assignment and catching up." She's a true encapsulation of who teachers are. People that give their entire lives to our kids despite the world not understanding the behind-the-scenes things they do day in and day out. The Lysing family is so grateful for Emily Mujica and all the teachers who nurture, teach, and empower our kids every day. Miss Mujica, thanks for everything you have done for us and your students. We appreciate you, and I'll send another pack of Band-Aids with Hayden on Monday.
All right, let's see. Okay, good morning, everybody. As you know, my name's Emily Mujica. I'm a kindergarten teacher at Arnold Elementary, where I've had the privilege of teaching there for the past 6 years. Today I have my mom, Andrea Mujica, with me, my principal, Jody Frager, and the Lysings, Hayden, Emma, Scott, and Paige. I want to say thank you for nominating me and for thinking so highly of me as a teacher and a person. The Lysing family walked into my life in 2021. First, I had their oldest daughter, Emma, in my kindergarten class. I was welcomed by so many wonderful families that year, but one in particular was the Lysings. They showed me kindness, grace, and support throughout the school year. They were heavily involved with Emma and her performance in school. It made building a parent-teacher relationship so easy with them because of how much that they cared. Now I have the pleasure of teaching their youngest daughter, Hayden. It's been a privilege to be both of the girls' kindergarten teacher, and I hope as they grow and succeed, they'll never forget our time together in kindergarten. Teaching was not my first career. I actually went to school and graduated with a bachelor's in human services from Iowa State University. I worked for a few years in that field, and before going back to pursue my second degree in education through the University of Northern Iowa. That's when things really started to fall into place for me, and that's when I found my purpose. I know being in the classroom teaching is where I'm meant to be. There's a quote by Rachel Scott that I would like to share. This quote says, "I have this theory that if one person can go out of their way to show compassion, then it will start a chain reaction of the same." This is a quote I stand by, and it drives me to the work I do each day. Every child that walks through our classroom door, in the hallway, and through the front doors of our building deserves to have compassion and to be seen. This has been my mission since the day I started this profession. I want every single student to know that I see you and I'm so glad that you're here. As a kindergarten teacher, our role is extremely important to the students who enter our classroom each year. For many students, kindergarten is their first experience in an educational setting, and I feel that it is a privilege to be their first teacher. I get to create relationships and memories that will last a lifetime. Thank you to Lincoln Public Schools, KFOR and KFRX, the Lincoln Education Association, and the Foundations for Lincoln Public Schools for this opportunity. And thank you to the Governor's Mansion for the wonderful breakfast today as well. I couldn't imagine teaching for a better school district than Lincoln Public Schools. As you leave and carry on with your day, I challenge you to show a person or anybody around you compassion in hopes that it will start a chain reaction of the same. Thank you.
See, I told you. Next up, we have the winning teacher for the 3rd through 5th grade category. This year's honoree is Christine Jenkins, 3rd grade teacher at Saratoga Elementary School. She was nominated by Remy and her parents, Gina and Ryan Matheson. Please join me at the podium.
What makes an outstanding teacher? Someone who goes above and beyond for their students to ensure they have a learning experience that they will never forget. Someone who takes time out of their personal lives to show they truly care. Someone who is involved and invested in each child and makes them feel special and important. That someone is Mrs. Chris Jenkins, 3rd grade teacher at Saratoga Elementary. This year, Mrs. Jenkins and our class made a book about animals, and she worked hard to have it published. Each student was able to draw a picture and write a piece about their animal. I did a page on pandas. Our class was even featured on the local news. I was so proud and excited to talk about the book and my part in it. This was such a unique and amazing opportunity, and it wouldn't have been possible if not for Mrs. Jenkins putting in the extra time and care that this required. My family purchased a copy of the book once it was published, and it is something we will hold on to and cherish forever. It doesn't stop there. Mrs. Jenkins is always working hard on some sort of special project that relates to whatever topic we are focusing on in class. She does a great job coming up with fun ideas, planning and gathering materials for each project. From building shields while learning about the Roman Empire to hatching eggs in the classroom. I am never bored and always have something exciting to report about what is going on at school. Mrs. Jenkins makes sure to include parents in all these activities and keep them updated with emails, class photos, and more. We have never experienced such thorough and consistent communication from a teacher before. My mom and dad love hearing about what is going on in my school life and being kept in the loop outside of the regular updates and parent-teacher conferences. Just another one of those little extra things she does to show she really cares. Mrs. Jenkins even goes as far as showing interest in her students' activities outside of school. She even always keeps us posted on fun things going on in the community that we could attend as a family. She also encourages sports and any kind of personal growth. I am a wrestler and I work very hard on this sport. Mrs. Jenkins supports me by checking in with me and even coming to tournaments and cheering me on. It means so much to me that she takes an active interest in what's going on in my life and what's important to me. My mom says she's never seen me light up when talking about a teacher like I do when I talk about Miss Jenkins and all she does for our class. She is just an awesome teacher. We wholeheartedly believe she deserves this honor and recognition for outstanding educator.
You did so good. Now you have to stand beside me. Help me out.
Okay.
I won't need the pen.
Okay. Might need to bring that up.
Thank you. Just like I held her hand, I'm going to ask her to stand here and hold my hand. So I would like to start by saying thank you to Lincoln Public Schools, the Foundation for Lincoln Public Schools, KFOR, KFRX, and LEA, the Lincoln Education Association, for sponsoring this event. I am also very blessed to be by my family that have joined me here today, as well as those who are not here. Those individuals joining me today are my mom, a lifelong educator, her special friend Thane, my children and their spouses, Jake and Tanya, Zach and Bobby, my daughter Lupe, and our son JR. My sister Kendi, one of my best friends, and my niece Bailey are also here today. I also have a very special angel that watches over me every day, and that is my dad. I know he would say, "Way to go, Titi." You see, even though I initially wanted to be a teacher, I was also a fairly stubborn child, or hard-headed, as my father called it. So when I got older, I wasn't sure what my career path would be, or my life path for that matter. It was at that point that my father calmly patted me on the head and said, "Sure, whatever you do, as long as you go to college." But he still insisted to me and everyone that he knew, and my mom knew, that I was destined to be a teacher. So much so that the first day of my class, he drove me to school. I am not saying he drove me to kindergarten. He drove me to my first freshman class in college, which was out of town. I'll never forget the pickup ride. I also want to say thank you to my husband. He is a phenomenal partner in life, as he has always supported my decision to be a teacher in so many ways, from helping me decorate my classroom, helping cut out piles of new laminated curriculum materials, to helping rotate eggs on the weekends during embryology. I am so blessed to have a spouse who understands when a whole dinner conversation revolves around how I can just get to that one student that is struggling in my class, or just to listen to me tell him what my students said today. He also accompanies me to Remy's wrestling matches and to some of my other kids' sporting events. To him, I say thank you for all that you do. I would also like to recognize my principal, Marcy Emmel. Great teachers come from great leaders. Marcy taught our daughter in 3rd grade, and I was beyond excited when I heard she was going to be my new principal. I not only call her my principal, I call her my friend. Do you have a tissue? I'm so sorry. Sorry.
I should have a box right
That's okay. I have worn many hats during my career, but the one that I am most proud of is Mrs. Jenkins. I am a Saratoga star, but the real stars in my life are my students and their families. I hope that I am the third grade teacher that my students will always remember. They will say, she was funny, she made learning fun, and she was the dancing queen. If you know, you know, right, Remy? Teaching elapsed time and conjunctions are a lot more fun when you see the faces of the students soaking it all in. Not all students understand the concepts that you are teaching, but when they have parents in their corners like Gina and Ryan, it makes my job much easier. To you, I say thank you. To their sweet, polite, and ambitious daughter, I wish nothing but the best for you, and I hope to be there on the day that you graduate. Again, thank you, as this is such an honor, and I am extremely grateful. Over here, honey.
Now we're set. Thank you, Kathy. Kleenex right here. Okay. Now we have Thomas Ariano, PE and health teacher at SCO Middle School. He was nominated by SCO's 7th grade student, Bella Lester. Please join me in welcoming them to the podium.
Mr. Ariano is my PE and health teacher. Every day his class, whether it's health class or PE, gives me something to look forward to. I always learn so much and have lots of fun in his class. There are many teachers who make learning fun and teach you lots in their time you're in their class, but there aren't a lot like Mr. A. What makes him different is that he takes his time to get to know each individual student as a person. He doesn't just think of us as another class he's teaching. He realizes that we're all individual people who have different perspectives on things, opinions, and needs. He always tries to connect with every student in some way so that they know he is someone to talk to and trust. He doesn't just teach us the curriculum that they give him, he also teaches us things like the importance of honesty and to always think about the decisions we make. He always holds us accountable for our actions and tells us that he would rather us tell the truth, even if he won't like it, than have us lie to him. Mr. Ariano also gives all of his students the support they need and makes sure that they know they can always talk to him. My grandpa died this school year, and Mr. A was very good at taking into consideration what happened and realizing that I might not be at my best. He was good at trying to help me through it. I talked to him about my grandpa because I think everyone should know what a great person he was, and Mr. A always listened. One of the things we talked about a lot was music, because we have mostly the same taste. My grandpa used to write country music, so Mr. A even took the time to listen to parts of his songs. One of the artists we talked about all the time is Zach Bryan. So on Christmas, when I got tickets to his concert, the first thing I thought about was getting to tell Mr. A that I was going. He was very happy for me when I told him. I know I'm not the only student who feels this way about Mr. Ariano. One of the days from our school spirit week was dressed like a Trusted Adult Day, and there was a big group of students, including me, who all made a plan with Mr. A to dress like him. We took a big group photo with all of us. Mr. Ariano is a beyond amazing teacher who deserves to be recognized, and I know many people who would say the same.
Wow, I was not expecting that. Thank you. That's crazy. Yeah, so Bella killed that. So I'm Mr. A, or Mr. Ariano. I'm joined here by my parents, Steve and Bev, my sister, and then my girlfriend, Hannah. Yeah, so, wow, that was great. I'm like taken back here, sorry. I'm also joined by our principal, Mr. Escamilla. He took a chance on me 2 years ago, last year. It's my second year at SCO, so I'm really, really grateful for it. And Ms. Jablonski's back there. She was the first person that took a chance on me. And wow, did not think I'd be emotional. Yeah. Yeah, so Mr. Blonsky took a chance on me, oh gosh, a couple years ago, we'll say. And it really helped me grow a lot as a person, and I really appreciate that a lot. So it's kind of crazy you're here, honestly. It threw me off. And so, yeah, so going from elementary, at Kuzer Elementary for 5 or 6 years to going to middle school is a big jump, really, really big jump. I was actually intimidated a little bit by the middle schoolers. You know, you don't know what you're going to get from their personalities and different things like that. But when you look at it, they're still kids. And that's like the coolest thing in the world because they still want to have fun. They still want to tell you about their day. They want to tell you about everything in their life. And it's just awesome. So middle school has been a really, really good, fun thing for me. I'd also like to thank Lincoln Public Schools for putting this on, KFOR, KFORX, LEA, and the Foundation of Lincoln Public Schools for giving our children an opportunity to nominate people, people that make an impact in their life. It's really, really cool to see this. It's really awesome. For me today, that's Bella. Bella is such a great student. Every time I see her coming down the hallway, big smile on her face, sometimes a little skip down the hallway because she's excited for class. And you don't usually see that most of the time for PE, so especially after lunch. But that fifth period that she's in, it's a great group of kids, and Bella jumps right in with everything that we do. She doesn't really complain too much about it. We're sometimes though, right, when we can't catch the football, the ball might go over our head. But yeah, she displays super high character for her age. She's jumps right into everything we do, like I said, always greets us with a smile every single day. You can always tell if she's super happy, a little down, like she said with her grandfather. But yeah, she's just a phenomenal human being. What else do I say? Yeah, she's just a great student, sorry. And I'm really excited to see what the future holds for her, because wherever she chooses to do in life, she will be extremely great at it. So thank you.
Congratulations. Our high school honoree is Emily Geldmeyer, English teacher and journalism advisor at Lincoln East High School. She was nominated by senior Hope Shortridge. Will you please join me here at the podium?
I know my. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good morning. Before I start, I just want to say that I actually started writing this letter 2 years ago, just one semester into knowing Mrs. Geldmeyer, and I didn't get around to submitting it, and then I added to it a little bit junior year, didn't get around to submitting it, and then I made it a priority my senior year to submit it because I know how much she deserves this recognition, and that I started writing this one semester and shows how much I loved her. So here we go. To whomever reads this, I feel a proper introduction is due. My name is Hope Shortridge, and I am a senior at Lincoln East High School. It is with great pleasure that I would like to nominate my all-time favorite teacher and journalism advisor, Mrs. Emily Geldmeyer, for this prestigious award. Can't look at her. Okay. Geldmeyer has only been a part of my life for a few short years, but the connection we share feels like it's been a lifetime. We met going into my sophomore year when I was worried for many reasons,
It would truly be my first year of high school, considering all of the protocols in place my freshman year due to COVID. But I was also excited because I had been accepted into the Oracle, advised by Mrs. Geldmeyer, East newspaper. From the very first day of school, it was evident how well our personalities would match. Her infectious, bubbly smile, that sadly we could only see sometimes because of a mask, was so inviting, and you could tell she really cared about the Oracle and all of her students. One of our weekly rituals, implemented by Geldmeyer herself, was how we would go around the room sharing our rose and thorns from our past weekend. A process where we would tell Geldmeyer in the class one good thing that happened over the weekend and one not so good thing. It is a simple factor, but I truly look forward to it every week, and I know many of my fellow staff members do as well. It has truly brought us all closer together as a staff and as individuals. We truly look forward to doing it every Monday, and it even makes a Monday seem a little brighter. She would also put a weekly check-in form where she would ask us about similar aspects of our weekend and offered to follow up with us if we chose. It's the little acts like these that make a teacher so special. She's the kind of teacher that leaves a lasting impact on everyone who has the pleasure of meeting her. This has stayed consistent and true over my 3 years with her, and it is really comforting to know how much she truly cares about all of us. She is always going the extra mile to support us in times of celebration, need, or sorrow. For parents, when you think about the ideal person to nurture and lead your child while also helping to develop them with the proper life and communication skills through the wild ride that is high school, Geldmeyer is what you can only dream of. Time and time again, she proves how she is like no other, from remembering what we have said during Rose and Thorn and then following up the next week, keeping up with our athletes and their success at sporting events, and even when others have a small victory. She is our biggest fan, and I'm her biggest fan, if you couldn't tell. At the same time, she holds us accountable and helps us put a plan in place if we have missed a deadline or not completed our best effort on an assignment. Having an already strong relationship with someone and then being able to trust their constructive criticism really makes you a better person and student. Through the skills I have gained during my time with Geldmeyer and on the Oracle, I have been able to turn one of my favorite hobbies into the beginning parts of an exciting career. I'm blessed to say that Mrs. Geldmeyer has been there every step of the way, instilling confidence and guiding me so that I can have the utmost success. All of the time and effort she puts in is evident, and it shows how amazing of a teacher she is, and I'm forever grateful that she is in my life. She truly puts her all into the Oracle and all of the classes she teaches, and is constantly thinking about how she can be better. Our relationship has only flourished over these 3 years of knowing each other, and I am grateful to call her a part of my family. She has taught me so much about how to be a better journalist, leader, person, and to always assume the best about someone. She has changed my life for the better, and I'm going to miss her insanely next year in college. I truly believe there is no one more deserving of this recognition, and I can't wait to hopefully celebrate this with her. As Dr. Sudhir S. Valerio famously said, a good education can change anyone. A good teacher can change everything. Thank you.
With each other. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Hope. Being here well past my due date to accept this award is either a miracle or simply another product of Hope's tenacity and sheer force of will to make things happen. And once this is done, you can funnel all of that to energy to helping this baby come. One of the beautiful things about teaching, as we have seen here this morning, is that the product or like the end result, the thing we pour our time and energy into each day, is the formation of people. Sometimes it's just for a semester, and sometimes, like with Hope, those relationships continue from year to year, even past graduation. My relationship with Hope began 3 years ago, right around recruitment time for our next batch of incoming newspaper staffers. One of my existing staff members told me, I have this girl who wants to join, but all she wants to do is take pictures. And if you know anything about Hope, she loves to take pictures. And as the newspaper is way more than just taking pictures, I was skeptical, but am endlessly grateful that she ended up in my class and in my life. Hope has added to the community of our newspaper staff through her vulnerability, her sense of humor, and her consistent presence. While not as publicly lauded as many of her other contributions to East, Hope's ability to show up for her fellow staff members is why she has earned her position as an editor-in-chief and why others trust her with their personal lives and questions. They know that Hope will be kind and compassionate. And I think that's the greatest impact of all. Each day, she welcomes every student in our classroom by name, checking in with how they're doing. Her presence and her personality have become a defining character quality of our staff's community. She has taken new staffers under her wing, allowing them to shadow her as she takes photos at events and intentionally pursues them as individuals and journalists. As her teacher and advisor, I'm already mourning the shift that will inevitably come for our staff when Hope graduates. As a teacher, one of the most rewarding things there is being there at that moment of co-creation between a student and a teacher. When we're understanding something together, we're collaborating to make a dream become a reality, or we're making a breakthrough personally and realizing something about ourselves and our world. Hope, we've worked together for 3 years, and you have exemplified for me how to lean in, to want something, and to go after it full force. There have been growing pains, and you have slowly developed a voice for yourself, and also for those in a lot of special vulnerable populations of our school. But it has been a joy to watch you figure it out. Thank you for leaning towards me and for nominating me for this award. It's just one of the many things that you don't have to do, yet you choose to do. And as I told you earlier this week, the smallest recognition of another person's efforts and impact goes such a long way. May we all do a better job of offering that to anyone else in our lives. So my appreciation, so offering that to you guys. I want to thank LPS for providing this opportunity to celebrate educators and for opening the door for parents and students to nominate teachers. It makes a huge difference, even in just our own personal lives. Thanks to the Governor's Mansion and the staff for hosting and making this like a special event. Thank you to my principal, Casey Fries at East, and thank you to my parents who are taking my other 2 kids to daycare as we speak, and who raised me with the character and value of offering your full presence, your listening, your empathy to others, and that has made me the teacher I am today. And then for Colin and my oldest daughter, Liesel, who are here, thank you for offering me that same presence and listening and empathy every day I come back from school. Literally, I could not do this without you. So thank you. Now let's have this baby.
And that is going to bring us to our final winner today. Can I please have retired Scott Middle School teacher Kim Ritter and Scott 8th grade student Peyton Udemark, who nominated her, to join us here at the podium, please.
Good morning, everyone. Mrs. Ritter has known me since the beginning of my life, even being one of the first to hold me as a newborn. I've grown up with her by my side and can never ask for a better inspiration. I was so lucky to have her as my teacher. Her dream as a teacher was to change her students so her students could change the world. Any student that has come out of her class is not like any other. Her students are kinder, more outgoing, happier, mindful, and hardworking. They understand what is best for them so that they can carry on Mrs. Ritter's legacy at Scott and pursue her dream as every second they get. Moving through middle school, I've heard teachers say how much they miss her bright attitude and inspiration she brought to the school, and how much they aspire to be like her. Mrs. Ritter has brought me to some of the brightest points of my life and made me the happiest person alive. She has pushed me to try new things and to be successful and to be different. She's got me to try things that I would have never picked up but now can't put down. She has pushed me to take part in theater, causing me to build the best friendships. She has pushed me to participate in show choir and just recently try out for high school cheer. I could never let her down because of how much good she has put into our world, and I now know she is the one who deserves more than the world could give her. She's driven hours to come and watch me in an 8-minute show, but also to come and see some of her past students. She lives in Ashland and drove 52 minutes to school every morning, waking up at 3 a.m. sometimes to look presentable and get the day started off right. Then driving those 52 minutes back home at the end of the day. She brought fun to her classroom, which was something no other teacher had done. She held class auctions for chances to win prizes that were worth more than just something from the dollar store. Who knows how much money she spent on her kids over the year, but she doesn't care, as she gave her kids things sometimes their families couldn't afford, and made them so happy in their time having her. No kid has ever been happy to go to class, but her class was different. Kids would beg and bribe to be put in her class, and at the end of the day, there would be a line going out her door to give her a hug before they left. Without her, I don't know where I'd be in life. She's made me someone who will accept everyone for who they are and not change myself for someone else. She's taught me to ignore kids who are mean and be a role model for them to be kinder. To take my education seriously, even though I am in middle school, so that I can be successful now as well as later. And taking your education seriously now in the long run will be best. To make life fun and do things you enjoy, and to try new things because what do you have to lose? But most importantly, family always comes first. I don't see her as much anymore, but she will always be in my heart. She deserves this recognition so much, and ask any of her students and they will say the same thing. As she was packing up her class to retire, she let me pick something out to take home. I picked a sign with her favorite quote on it and is now hanging in my room. Just wait until you see what is possible when you shine your little light on the world. She's my life, and I don't know what I would do without her.
This is going to be fun. Where's the Kleenex? I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. And now I can't see this. So I was going to be cool and try to use my phone like the kids all do, you know, to get up there and speak. And I was sitting there last night going, I can't read this. I had it up this big. So I printed out my paper, and it looks really long, but it's not because the font's about that big. So and now I can't see that either. So thank you so much. I just can't even express how much that means to me. Leaving was really difficult as a teacher, and that just makes me want to go right back to the classroom again. When we were on our way here today, as Peyton says, I live in Ashland, and my husband goes, "You're nervous, aren't you?" I'm like, "Just a little bit, maybe." He goes, "You're yawning." No, that's because I couldn't sleep last night. But I said, he goes, "You spoke in front of people every day." I said, "Yeah, but there were 6th graders." So I was thinking about this on the way here, and I thought, okay, you guys can really help me out with this. So here's what I need you to do. So if you want to act like a 6th grader, so the first thing I do is put your hoodies up, okay? And then you got to slump right down in your seats. And then every once in a while make those farting noises, you know? And then refer to me as bruh, okay? And middle school teachers, you get it, right? Seriously, I'll go serious now. I want to thank LPS, KFRX, KFOR, LEA, and the Foundation for Lincoln Public Schools for recognizing teachers each year. As long as I can remember, 33 years I've been in the district, every year at this time I look at the computer on this day to see if any of my friends have been recognized. And I don't know if you realize this, but these are more meaningful than any award you can get because they're from these people. And it makes it so much more special. So I feel beyond blessed to be standing here today. And I'm still crying, and I got to quit this. Okay, so I also want to thank my cousin Jen for being here, my husband Jeff, who
actually has his boss here today and had to tell his boss he was going to be a little late. My son Cole, my daughter Maddie, and then my son son-in-law Cam, he had to go to school. He is now a special education teacher at Lincoln Southwest, and I'm so proud of him for that. But he had kids, so he had to go. But I'm really proud to say that all of my kids are graduates from LPS. Cole works for Benish as an engineer. Maddie is getting her master's in psychology right now. And as I said, Cam is a first-year teacher at Lincoln Southwest. So I'm really proud of that. Also, I don't think he could be here today, but Mr. Gelati was my principal my final year of teaching. And he's a wonderful person, and I heard he's going to be moving on up. So I'm sure you're all really happy to have him. Fun fact, he was Maddie and Cam's high school principal and even came to Maddie's graduation party. So he's been a very special person in our lives. So, as I said, I retired from teaching 33 years, after 33 years, and it was a hard decision. And it wasn't hard because I had to miss all the meetings and stuff. Sorry, Mike, he's not here. But I would miss my kids. And I miss the hugs, the shout-outs across the hallway when you're standing next to the lockers, the notes left on my computer, and I would even miss the practical jokes with crickets, which, if you know me, that's my one thing in life that I can't stand. But they would corral them into my classroom. There'd be crickets on my table, and so it was all in good fun, though. To me, teaching has always been about the relationships with students and their families. I love teaching language arts, but was very aware that the kids wouldn't remember what I said in class. They would remember the relationships that we formed. So each day when I walked into my classroom, I would try to live by the famous quote from Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Peyton, you at your very young age have already started living by this quote. You truly care about others and go out of your way to show them. You have a huge heart and such a positive outlook on life. You are already making a difference in this world. And you know how important that is to me. I want you to know that this recognition is something that I will hold close to my heart for the rest of my life, and that you have made me feel so special. I may not be at Scott anymore, but I will forever be your biggest fan. I can't wait to cheer you on in softball and at all the future show choir competitions. And when you move to LSW, I will be there with you. Great things are ahead of you. Thank you so much for being a part of my life and for this wonderful recognition.
Thank you, Peyton, for sharing that impact that Mrs. Ritter had on you and so many other people. And congratulations once again to all of our winners. Thank you to every teacher in Lincoln, in Lancaster County, and also in Nebraska, because you truly do make a difference in the lives of so many, as you've seen here today. Before I let you go, I'd like to recognize some individuals who made today's ceremony possible and also say a few thank yous. First of all, let's thank Diane Regner of the Governor's Mansion staff for making an amazing breakfast. Let's please give them a round of applause. And also to the governor for allowing us to use his football field basement. Thank you. I'd also like to thank the Lincoln Board of Education members, of course, and all the LPS administrators who joined us to help honor these teachers today. Thank you to the LPS communications team for organizing today's event and all the planning that leads up to it, including Julie Dansky, Marlena Thornton, Ryan Shimanek, Otilio Meza, Brianna Wyckoff, Brent Harden, Emily Antone, Brian Fitzgerald, Josh Genrich, David Kane, and Brian Seiferlein. Thank you to the nomination committee, who includes Alicia Haugen from the Foundation for Lincoln Public Schools and also Deb Rasmussen for the Lincoln Education Association. I'd like to honor today's sponsors, Lincoln Public Schools, of course, KFOR, KFRX, with the support from the Foundation for Lincoln Public Schools and the Lincoln Education Association. They also contributed the gift bags today, which are at the top stairs. Photos and a full recording of today's event are going to be available soon on the Lincoln Public Schools website, so be watching for that. And also, thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning. Please take a moment, thank a teacher who has made a difference in your life. You're all rock stars. Thank you.